Hello everyone and welcome to me and my lovely home. This week's vlog is going to be about male mental health. Men are 3 times more likely than women to die by suicide. It is the biggest killer of men below the age of 45. It equates to 12 men a day taking their own life, which is just shocking. Obviously, mental health charities have done a lot of research into why this is happening, and the conclusion that they've come to is that men are less likely to talk about their problems or to talk about the fact that they are struggling, and less likely to go to the doctors and get help. So there's more women that go to the doctors and are given antidepressants or go to talking therapies. And obviously a lot of people sort of decades old thing of women talk, but actually that talk that women are famous for doing is actually saving our lives. So it doesn't seem so silly and stupid anymore, does it? I decided that I wanted to do this male mental health vlog with my husband because obviously he is male. But a few months ago he was diagnosed with stress that was work related, though he has moved job now and so that's kind of gone, but also anxiety that was caused by that stressful time and other things that have obviously been going on in our lives. If you've been following my vlogs, then you know it's not been the best year for us. And a couple of months ago, one of John's work friends also died by suicide, and he has had quite a few friends who have had problems with depression and anxiety. So I felt like I wanted to get a real perspective from somebody, obviously, who has experienced male mental health, but also supported those who have had male mental health problems, and just, I guess, to see if we can kind of help other people who are either men themselves who are struggling with their mental health or are supporting men who are struggling with their mental health, because they are very important, and I think sometimes they get overlooked when it comes to a lot of things, especially at the moment with them in the media. They're always seen as being a bit of the bad guys all the time, aren't they, as in they can't do anything right. So I think sometimes it's important to sort of highlight that they are actually people too who do have feelings and that they are as valid as us females. So I asked on Instagram if anyone had any questions they'd like me to ask John or things they'd like us to discuss, and then I wrote them all down in here. This is my vlog book that I put all my ideas for vlogs in, and we are basically I'm going to read them and then we are going to try our best to answer them. I hope you find this vlog useful. I will say this here instead of at the end of the vlog for a change. Please could you like and subscribe and share to everyone, all your family, all your friends, share. You're putting faces already. This is going to take some massive editing of this video because he's already messing around and being a pain in the ass. So anyway, I've written down the questions in a different notebook that I showed you earlier.
Did you have my hair?
It looks fine.
Okay.
Okay, anyway. So this is John, as you've seen on many of my vlogs. My husband and general partner in crime for the last several years. So I've got the questions and I'm going to ask you them, and then we're going to answer them, possibly together. I might ask you some of the questions. You know how I like to babble all you lot on here. So first question. Some of these are from Instagram, some of these are questions I already have myself, because other people have asked me similar questions previously in conversations, and then obviously people on Instagram have also sent me these pictures. These questions.
Am I making you proud of this?
Yeah, a little bit, because you're just staring at me. I'm used to just talking to myself. All right. So, first question. Are you prepared?
I'm prepared.
Okay. Do men in general talk about their mental health?
No.
Excellent.
Simple answer. No, we don't. We don't talk about mental health.
So you don't talk about like your feelings and things like that?
Nope. Just not them.
Why not?
I think it's the old stigma. Men have to be seen as the solid ones, the reliable ones, the ones who don't show emotion. I know that there's a change in culture. Younger people now find it easier to talk about emotions, but I don't. And I don't talk about emotions. And that probably is one of the reasons I had a bit of a breakdown earlier this year.
Yeah, I don't know whether... I do think it's a generational thing though, because I think that older people, not just men, but also women, definitely there's more stigma about mental health and getting help with their mental health, like talking about it. They see it almost as being a weakness, Like, they'll go to the doctors and things quite easily about a physical thing, they've hurt their leg or whatever, but they won't go if something's wrong, they feel there's something wrong inside, like, their head, as in they're getting stressed. But I think younger people, because I work with a lot of much younger people, men and women, and they're more open about their mental health.
Yeah.
They're more open about it, and just everything they're more open about, I think, about themselves, sexuality, everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you're probably right. What was that?
Nothing.
Were you doing yeah, I'm right?
No.
It's one of these rare occasions that you're right in our marriage. And
Ask the question.
anyway, do you feel you can talk about your male friends about your mental health?
Some of them. Again, I can talk to the younger ones because they're more open about this type of stuff, but I couldn't talk to the old ones as much. And even if I could, I don't enjoy it. I don't find it comfortable.
But when you say older ones, do you mean people our age, or do you mean people old, like our parents' generation?
Oh yeah, I would never talk to somebody our parents' generation.
No, no, I agree. Yeah, or like people who are younger, like in their 20s or early 20s.
Yeah, my friends who are in the early 20s have got no issues with talking about how they feel and their emotions and things. But whilst I could talk to them, I do feel uncomfortable talking to them.
Yeah, they're sort of breaking through barriers, age-old barriers though. This is it's partly a culture thing. Like, we've grown up with a certain, like, still with a men don't talk about their feelings thing. So it's more kind of like how it's been inbred into you rather than future generations being a problem, isn't it? Because they've grown up talking about it and having it in social media and stuff. So for them, it's not awkward. No. They're like, yeah, fair enough. This is sometimes we talk about stuff like this. There's our dog. What are you doing?
She's making noises. She's being weird.
She's like the soundtrack to all my vlogs. Are you quite alright? She's been in the bath, so she's a bit dishevelled. No, you can't come up and sit on it. Jesus. Anyway. So, where was I in the questions? I digress.
2.
No, I've answered 2.
We've just done 2.
Oh, right, we've just done 2.
On number 3.
Have any of your male friends ever spoken to you about their mental health?
Only one, and that was a long time after.
Yeah.
No, I'm mentioning that. And that was a long time after he had issues. He was already on antidepressants. He'd had a break from work. But no, as a general rule of thumb, no friends have ever spoken to me about their mental issues.
Which is weird considering
1 in 4 of us have them.
Yeah, but 1 in 4 people, not just men, have mental health problems of different varieties. But obviously not all those people with mental health problems feel suicidal. But considering that only a month or so ago, someone from work
a month ago
took their own life, and
because he's old school military, they don't have feelings, and that was it. Yeah,
so no one had any idea, did they? Like, even his friend that he was really close to and saw a lot didn't know. Which is a shame. Probably mildly putting it. Okay, so what do you think stops men talking? You've already kind of said that, haven't you? You've said sort of...
Yeah, stigma is just... Yeah. It's getting better as the generations go on, but I still don't think we've reached that turning point yet. It's still embarrassing to talk about, or at least I find it embarrassing to talk about. I don't know about other people, but it's a hard thing to discuss, especially when you don't know how to voice your opinions and
I think
feelings.
Depends as well, because some places you don't feel like are like appropriate to talk about it, like when you're at work and stuff. And then I think sometimes it's like, well, you think all the other people, everyone has problems of some sort, like, and you think, do they really want my problems to add on to it? I think sometimes that's what I think when it comes to talking about it. But then, having said that, when I think about stuff that's happened, previously, but also with us this year, that's not stopped me from caring if other people have got problems, though. No, so I think, well, that's probably the same for them as well. Like, you're still there to listen. In some ways, you actually feel like those people who've gone through more stuff are more likely to listen, I think, in some cases. Yeah. Because they understand what it's like to feel really crap. Yeah. And to get it off your chest. And because that's how I feel. I think sometimes people, I know how crap things can be. And so it's good to listen to other people, I think.
It is, but then I wouldn't want to put my problems on somebody else. So my problems, why would anybody else want to listen to my problems?
But then are you though? Because if someone comes up to you now, and we've had plenty of issues this year with various things, haven't we? So we've got our own problems. and stuff. But if someone came up to you and said, I'm feeling really crap because of this, this and this, like you're a manager at work, are you telling me that you don't care about them? Because you've spoken to me about things that they've said, and you've cared, just because you've gone through technically worse things or just as bad things or whatever, doesn't stop you from caring.
True.
And you're not there going, no, I don't want to hear what you've got to say.
Go away.
Yeah.
Go away.
You don't, though, do you?
No.
And there's no reason why other people would do that either.
It's true.
See? Anyway.
Am I talking to you or talking to the people?
The people in the phone. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I'm yeah.
Okay. Just checking. New to the vlog world. No,
Don't worry about it. I'm totally going to keep
I've
all
also
this
got
in
really
because it's
saggy
amusing.
eyes. Look, my eyes are kind of hang. You've got nice pert eyes. My eyes sag. Gravity's got hold of
I
them.
don't think you've got saggy eyes, John.
Okay, carry on.
Well, I think we've kind of answered this question. It's like, what stops men going to the doctors? But you've said sort of like stigma and stuff.
Fear.
And I think that's
Don't
the same
want to
thing
discuss.
as not talking to your friends.
But again,
family.
that's generic. Some people are happy to do it, but I think a lot of us.
I think
don't.
some people as well find it easier to go to a doctor who they don't know than speaking to their friends and family who they feel more awkward doing that than going to a doctor. Yeah. So I think you don't always have to talk to your family and stuff about these things. You can actually just go to a doctor instead, if you find that easier. What pressures do you think men specifically have? Because obviously men are taking their own life more than women are.
I don't think that's changed over the past however many years, and how often it's been reported by different media outlets. We're supposed to be strong, we're supposed to be the breadwinners, we're supposed to be there for everybody else. It's the same old story that just goes round and round and round.
But there is more in the paper now and in the media in general about male mental health. Like I know This Morning did a feature where they put dummies on the top of the BBC, I think, building. And each dummy represented a man who'd taken their own life that year. Yeah. And it was just a vast amount, like a visual representation of what actually had happened. And that was just specifically men, not men and women in general, just to show.
But how often do people pay attention to everything that happens in the media? It's not happening to them, therefore it's not important.
And I think as well, the mental health thing, and I think it's just a human thing, is if it's not happening to them, that they think it's not going to happen to them. I think that's a lot with mental health especially. Like people think, if they jump off this or something, they could break their leg. But they don't think that if they keep going with all their stress, the stress that they feel at work, and then they add on to it because they don't slow down and they don't stop, they've got their kids and they do all this and they're rushing around like mad, they don't think that they need to stop, where they would if they were going to jump off something. They'd think, oh, I'd hurt myself then. Yeah. But they don't think taking on all these responsibilities and jobs that's going to hurt their mental health.
True.
No one ever seems to think that, so they don't take care of it, and that's what the problem is. It's that, it won't happen to me mentality, which is definitely something that happens with older generations more than younger ones, I think, as well, and that's damaging. But I think, like it says here about, does the representation of men in the media impact men's mental health?
Not as much as it probably could do, because again, it's the media. Unless it's happening to somebody close to you, if it's happening in the media, you're not going to pay that much attention. It's like Betty's husband is a zombie alien. People just don't see it as real. If it happens to your family,
we're filming this when the storm of Area 51 was happening last night.
Failed.
You're talking about aliens, and it's like they all just camped out there. This line is moved.
It is, because the sun...
Yeah, I know, but
as the world goes round the sun,
that quickly. I sat here thinking about the line's not on us, and I was here. Damn it. But surely flipping dog. Surely, no. Ruining vlog since October 2018. So, that's when I started vlogging here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know we've had a longer than that.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, but anyway. What was I saying? Media representation of men. Yes. Like we were discussing the other night, when you have adverts and things, like, of women, they're in specific roles, and of men, they're in specific roles. Like, you don't see adverts of men with beer bellies and stuff unless they're taking the mick out of them or something, aren't they? Yeah. Or the men that you see, like, if you look at car adverts, and they're all in these professional suits, and they're all, like, flat stomachs, and they're all, like, look a certain way in fashion and stuff. That's just it's the same sort of thing as women are. represented in media, so surely that does have an impact. If you're struggling with your weight or you're bigger, like you go to the gym all the time, why do you do that?
I enjoy the gym.
Yes.
I didn't used to. I used to do it.
Being truthful. Completely.
I am. I used to do it because I believed I was skinny.
You were slim, but there wasn't.
No, I was skinny.
Yeah,
I was skinny.
But that doesn't necessarily mean there's anything wrong
but
with that, though.
I've been going for so long that I actually enjoy the gym, and I do enjoy pushing myself.
Yeah, but if you lost weight,
I'll be pissed.
Exactly, so it's still a weight thing for you,
isn't it? Do we beep that out? Can I say pissed?
Well, it's too late now. But if you start losing weight, as I said, it will bother you. So it is still, yes, you might enjoy it, but it's still quite a bit to do with weight.
It is.
And the way you perceive yourself. But the way you perceive yourself, yes, it might be partly because of being bullied and stuff at school, but it's also probably partly because that's the representation in media. There isn't the skinny men or the very slim men that are in in TV programs and stuff, are all men that are like geeky men.
Yeah.
The nerdy guys that can't get girls men.
Yeah.
And that's how they're represented, where all the men that can get girls and have all these girls are always the ones that go to the gym all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The fact they've got nothing always between their ears doesn't seem to matter. But
I'm going to say though that I did start going to the gym before we got together, so what she just said kind of proves the point.
Yeah, but when I first met you, you were 19 and you were really skinny.
I was, yes.
And a goth.
Yes, I was.
Can you actually imagine? Isn't that funny? Sorry. Anyway. What?
Mental health. This is mental health. It's not Pick on John vlog, it's a mental health vlog.
I just think goths are funny. Anyway, not all goths, just John as a goth.
Yeah, that's right, keep digging.
What? It was funny! Anyway.
Pink Mohican.
Oh yeah! Anyway. That was a long time ago. Have you had good experiences when talking about your mental health to people in general? As a man?
Some people, yeah. Some people just go, oh yeah, yeah, and they're not actually paying attention because they don't know what
to say.
Some people listen, kind of understand more, but then they want to talk about their own issues.
I suppose they're trying to relate sometimes to you by putting their own issues out there.
I've not found many people. I now just kind of tell people, not wanting any explanations or theirs or aren't you strongs or anything like that. I just tell people, matters of fact, this is what I'm going through, and that's it. I don't really need them to listen, just so they know. I don't even need them to understand. But the fact is, I've told them that this has happened, so I'm not feeling great today. Please don't talk to me. Women tend to understand more, but males, we're not great at it still.
Well, it's like I said earlier in the vlog when I did the introduction thing. I think women do talk about stuff more in general. So to them, mental health is something that women talk about more, I think. Yeah. And not even so much as I'm feeling really depressed or it's just that they talk about, they're more like to phone up their friend and go, oh, you never guess what such and such has done. It might be like a minor thing, but those minor things are sort of stopping it before it gets too far, instead of it building up and you hold all these kind of problems and then you burst basically, and it all sort of just has an effect on you over time. I think women are better at talking all the time, so therefore it doesn't get the same build up.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously women do have mental health problems as well, but as statistics show that women do tend to get help more and are less likely to die by suicide than men, though obviously it still does happen.
Maybe we should start going to the bathroom in twos.
Yeah, it's where you sort stuff out.
I'm not going to the bathroom with another man.
No.
There is a bathroom etiquette that must be abided by.
But if they're going to be unisex more, you probably find that there isn't so many...
Unisex loos.
There might be less of the urinals and more cubicles. And I think...
Why would we want less urinals?
Well, if you go to the unisex toilets, do you really want to go to the toilet
you can get
with
more
your
people
bits out
in
next to a
urinals.
woman who's walking backwards and forwards?
Women need to learn to stand up to pee. Fact.
Or you need to learn to sit
Buildings
down.
could be smaller if women could stand up to pee. Fact. There goes half your viewership. Sorry.
Don't judge me on the man I chose to marry, it's not fair.
I'm lovely.
Do we have any thoughts on how to manage the side effects of medication for mental health, like antidepressants and things, and how to support husbands or partners or whatever when they are struggling with their mental health?
That's a hard one. That's a really hard one because everybody reacts differently.
When it comes to medication, there's so many different types of antidepressant and anxiety medication. So sometimes side effects can happen with some medication and not. So I know that I used to take citalopram, and I took citalopram and I was fine, but other people have felt suicidal on citalopram, and it's made them feel worse than when they were off it. So obviously then they have changed their medication and they felt much better. So sometimes with side effects it can be that you're on the wrong medication, but there will always be side effects. You have to kind of weigh up which makes you happier or which makes you better, I suppose. So like for me, I usually feel really drowsy on antidepressants. Whichever antidepressants I'm on, I'm always drowsy, but I do get my head back basically. So yeah, it might be a bit of a struggle to sort of get motivation, like get up in the morning and stuff, and I don't feel like I sleep any better necessarily on antidepressants, but I do find that my headspace is better and I can think about more things, my concentration improves, and I don't feel like I'm battling with my own head all the time. So for me, I find antidepressants, the positives outweigh the negatives. But I mean, I don't know how you think, because you're on a much lower dosage than I've been on, so the effect...
When it comes to dealing, I think there's a lifestyle change.
Yeah.
It always says an antidepressant you can't drink, and a lot of people enjoy a drink.
Especially if you've got mental health problems, you might drink more.
Which is what I did when I was a teen. But if you like a drink, then the alcohol is going to stop the medication working. It's going to make it more. It may stop the medication working. It may make you feel more drowsy. It may make you feel more suicidal. So there's a lot of things you have to change the way you are, change things you approach to food and drink and things, because that will affect your medication. But then your medication also affects your mood. I can remember days when Karen, I think it was just when she started citalopram, I didn't know whether she was going to come home happy as a clown or miserable as F, and that made it quite stressful. It's not something I ever spoke about to her at the time, but as things get on, it does get easier. I think the only thing you can do is be honest with each other.
And I think as well,
don't speak to anyone when they're in a bad mood, but speak to each other and say, if you notice that your partner, if their mood has changed or something's going on or something's different with them, kind of say it. Maybe ask them how they would like you to be with them. Just leave me alone or talk to me, because I know that when you've had your episodes...
I'm quite open though afterwards. Yeah. Like, not everyone's open, especially men, about how they feel when they've had the mental health, because when I'm going through it I don't really talk about it that much, but then afterwards I'll say, because I get much more irritable with anxiety. When my anxiety's bad, I get much more snappy because I'm stressed out, because things are stressing me out. No, but it's true, I do, but that's also part of the PTSD, is as I found out recently, is getting snappy about things, and sometimes it's frustrating when I'm really telling people what I want, but they're not doing it. That they're getting annoyed, and it's like, well, I have problems doing these things on my own, so why are you getting funny about it? But then I think sometimes it's like, well, it's the pressure sometimes, is that you can't leave that person on their own. Like when we go shopping and stuff, I'll go off sometimes, but then if it comes to like paying, and John's wandered off to pay for his stuff, I'm like, why has he like left me by myself? Like, it stresses me out doing that by myself, just going to the till. And obviously he's doing it himself, and he's like, well, why can't you do it yourself? Because obviously clearly I'm an adult, so I should be able to do it. But I can't, it stresses me out. So when he does leave me and forgets, because he's just doing his thing with the shopping, I'm then like next to him going, no, I need you to come with me. So like we're going to the shops, and he's like trying to do his thing, and I'm like waiting with him instead of going to a till by myself. Or like he'll be like, I'll wait outside, and I'll be like, why? Like, you need to come with me, even though he finds it really boring. I'm like, no, I'm just going to leave it on my own. But then other days it's okay and I'm fine and I'll go on my own. But yeah, one of the other side effects is lower sex drive with on medication. And I don't think either of us have really found an altering in this so much, have we? Ourselves personally. But again, that might be a change in the medication.
Yeah, the citalopram.
You said it was okay.
It was alright. Yeah. I think the beta blockers I was on, I can't remember what they're called, but I felt much better.
You were like, woo!
Yeah. Check it out!
But yeah,
I did find it
citalopram
better
was
on
more
the
normal,
beta blockers, but
yeah.
the citalopram I found more normal. Things haven't changed as much.
Yeah, I think again it's going to depend on your medication. I think it depends again on medication. I'm sorry about this light, by the way. I'm trying to avoid it, but now I'm falling off the bed. I'm planning on investing in maybe a light and a tripod to do these because I feel
You've
like...
already got me, love. You don't need a tripod.
But yeah, and as it comes to supporting a partner, I think it's about listening. I think it's actually harder probably to support a man than it is a woman with mental health problems because they don't, like we've been saying, they don't talk about their mental health so much and find it harder to open up.
We also don't like being helped.
And I think as well, the things like with mental health problems, there's only so much you can do to help a person. It's like with the things like addiction. So you can say, look, I think there's a problem. Like, I think you're not yourself. You seem to be more stressed. What is funny?
Nothing.
He's got this smile that's like he's finding something amusing. But yeah, like you can tell somebody that I think you're more anxious or you don't seem very happy and stuff like this at the moment, and you can give them that opportunity to talk. You can even say, you know, some people I know with mental health problems wear it all over the place and they're very much like, I feel awful, I feel this all the time and this. And you could be like, well, how about going to the doctors or speaking to somebody about it? And they might go, oh no, I don't want to go to the doctors. And I'm like, well, I can go with you. Like, I'll go with you to the doctors and support you. But if they won't go themselves, you can't make them go. It has to come from you. And you can be supportive, you can listen to them, you can give them a hug when they're crying, you can do things like I was saying about when you go to the supermarket and stuff and you're sort of, you know, you can do these things, and when they're having really low days you might do some of the jobs that they'd normally do to relieve the load and stuff like that. Or if, say, like John finds it can be stressful to go shopping in the supermarket, like maybe it doesn't work this way because I find it stressful too, but you know, you could go shopping for them when they're feeling really bad on that day instead of, like, you know, things like that. Or start doing your shopping online. That might be a place me and John need to go to.
Yeah, but then you get your cornflakes replaced by half a kilo of potatoes.
Vegetarian stuff by meat stuff. And it's like, this is not an alternative.
You ordered corn mince, we didn't have any, so here's a steak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why we don't do it. We did used to do it. But
other brands are available.
But obviously there's things that you can do like that, but it is hard to support somebody with a mental health problem. And I think for us too it's even harder because we're both struggling. So like we're trying to help each other while also dealing with our own shit. Yeah. So it is a bit harder.
You said the S word.
I know, I do sometimes swear in my vlogs. Do you not watch my vlogs? Huh?
Yeah, I do watch your vlogs actually.
Well, you don't pay attention, clearly.
I don't. Well, I'm just so used to your potty mouth that I didn't notice.
I do swear quite a bit, but I think it's because we don't have around kids.
Yeah, that's true.
So we just
sorry to any children watching. That's a bad word. Uncle John says no.
That just sounds sinister.
It does.
Uncle John. But yeah, this is why I don't do vlogs with John very often. Why have I decided to do this? I'm even planning on doing another one with him in the future. Yeah, about support systems.
Bras. Support.
I need good support systems.
Yeah, you do.
That's one thing I need help with. Definitely.
Next question.
I think that is actually all the questions. Yeah, and I feel like we obviously have gone off on a few tangents. If there's anything else you'd like us to sort of talk about in my vlogs, mental health wise, what?
Are you laughing at this line?
Your face. Now there's more people watching these vlogs, I'm planning on investing a bit more in some equipment, including a tripod and a light, so I don't have to, like, my phone is leant up against
a plant pot
on the windowsill, so there's light coming through. But then that's why I've got these lines, because they're coming through the blind, and whether I shut them or either if I shut them, it's still there. If I have them part open, it's there. If I open them properly, we can't see. Need better equipment, so I want to get one of those round light things. I think that would help.
Things that you like the eye thing.
Oh yeah, you can see the circle in the eyes, can't you, sometimes?
Makes you look sexy.
But that also means in winter I'll be able to vlog a bit better. But anyway, we're digressing again. I hope we have answered the questions that you've given us properly and that you found this video helpful. If you want any more videos, as I was saying, before I was really interrupted, on mental health, with John, like male mental health or just mental health in general, then please comment below and we will try and get that filmed and sorted for you. So thank you for watching. Bye!